What up? It's your boy T-Brown, the reaction. So, time for the meat and potatoes of Films Friday, which is the Dead Meat Kill Count. Now, unfortunately, since I'm on lockdown and I gotta use my backup page, it won't be a premiere chat, but it'll still be a video regardless, though. So, as you, as the new poll that came out, I made since pieces last minute pieces came up and kind of went over and top over alive. I decided to bring pieces and a lot pieces back as well too. So this time will be if. So this time, this new poll I'll say is that if the winner will be the next video I react to today, and the lowest two will be the one that we eliminated and hold up on the next late edition polls. And you will not believe it. Pieces was almost about to be out of it, but brought back because of the last minute jump on the poll after I made the video. And lo and behold, with 51%, Pieces had the biggest redemption ever, and it will be the official kill count I'll react to today. I'm going to re-upload this tomorrow. I'll re-upload this when I'm off of YouTube jail. You can call it like Facebook jail and everything. So anyway, with that being said, Cuties and Escape will remain, as well as Baby Blood and By a Skin is Last Minute alive. Once again, it's got saved the last minute, meaning host will be gone into the Shadow Realm along with Mayhem. So the next kill count poll I would have will feature Baby Blood alive, Cutie and Escapes will have their own segment, and one more new entry as well too. So anyway, getting to the kill count of the day is Pieces, which came out in 1982. Some folks been wanting me to do this, and you about to finally get your wish. So without further ado, let's check out Pieces, 1982 classic slash. I'm not sure if it's a slash or not, but anyway, because you know slash was the 80s thing. But let's see. R.I.P. Bismarck. I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, let's get it.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and I'm waiting until I get vaccinated before I get a haircut, so just ignore it. Today we're looking at Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is. This 1982 co-production between Spain, the US, and Puerto Rico was directed by Spanish filmmaker Juan Piquer Simon. His other big film was Slugs, the movie.
It may be the most shocking movie you will ever see. Slugs.
Killer Slugs. Wow.
Slashers have a reputation for violence against women, and movies like Pieces are exactly the reason why. It's the ultimate example of the type of horror movies critics railed against in the early 1980s. Sleazy, stupid, and covered in blood, usually courtesy of a chainsaw cutting into a naked woman. I'm not surprised that Eli Roth has been citing it as his favorite horror movie since at least 2008.
If there was some amazing kind of junk food, just pure sugar, happiness equivalent of horror movies, it would be Pieces.
And as recently as 2019, when he discussed it with me in Meetup, my short-lived series on Crypt. Pieces is about a serial killer who murders young women at a college in Boston. The mystery man then takes their various body parts to make a human jigsaw puzzle using their, pieces. It's a slasher by way of giallo, similar to A Bay of Blood, which I'll cover next month, except Pieces manages to be more graphic and booby. The first time I saw Pieces, I thought it was trash, and yet somehow I've wound up watching it 5 times in the past 2 years. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's trash, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy its moments of absurdity. There are some scenes so random, I couldn't even work them into the kill count.
Casanova!
That doesn't make too much more sense in context. Also, even though it doesn't come close to matching the non-stop parade of bare breasts, there is a scene with a dude hanging dong, and I'll always respect male nudity on screen. Equal rights means equal sights. So yes, this is a poorly told murder mystery with senseless gore and nudity. But isn't it all worth it to hear Linda Day destroy her microphone screaming bastard? I think so. I will say that learning some behind the scenes info kinda dampened my enthusiasm for the movie. Things like some unsafe working conditions and casual creepiness from the director. Can't say I'm too surprised though. It's obvious from everything I just said that this kill counts in the fast pass lane for demonetization. Since my editors and I need to get paid for our time, you know I got a sponsor to cover
go.
our asses. Whether your body parts are
He would put the Manscaped part on the male as a censor for the male nude thing. That was cool.
are your own or being used to make a human jigsaw puzzle, you might as well keep them neat and tidy with all the wonderful products from Manscaped. For instance, trim your ear and nose hair with the Manscaped Weed Whacker. It uses advanced skin-safe technology
Lord.
so you don't
Check it out.
unwittingly help the Pieces Killer make their puzzle. Plus, its cordless rechargeable battery lasts for up to 90 minutes of use. You can whack a lot of weeds in that time. Get the Weed Whacker and other Manscaped products for 20% off and with free shipping by going to manscaped.com/deadmeat. That's 20% off and free shipping to all sorts of places by going to manscaped.com/deadmeat. In a movie that's known for grisly
There you
deaths
go.
and bare breasts, there are certainly going to be a lot of kills to count. Let's get to them. The movie begins in Boston, right after Uncle Sam joined the big one. A 10-year-old turd named Timmy Reston sings Humpty Dumpty while doing a puzzle. A naked lady puzzle. That kind of smut drives his mother into smacking mode, because it Jesus, lady, stop! Because it
Stop slapping
reminds her
like
of
that.
Timmy's father, the bastard. Bastard father, bastard mirror! She threatens to kill the tyke, but he beats her to the punch when he takes an axe and puts it into her head. Or against her head? Kind of bounces. Oh, no, it's in her head. Timmy makes sure of it. It leaves quite the mark and quite the mess, which the kid gets to taken care of with murderous glee. Timmy gets back to puzzling. Really struggling there, huh, champ? But by time the police come and discover his mother's head, Timmy's wise enough to make himself out to be a victim.
Big man, mommy. Oh, Timmy.
That big brain move wins Timmy his freedom and wins
Wow.
us a title card. Give me them boost notes. The US
okay.
and international version of Pieces takes its score from an Italian music library that the producers had a contract with. That's what Cam is. Don't mistake it for the country singer. Director Juan Piquel Simon called that music garbage, and the Spanish language version features an original score composed by Librado Pastor.
You say I like the U.S. version.
Personally, I prefer the garbage music.
Yes.
I think it matches the garbage movie. Don't try to church up Pieces with a piano, Simone. 40
Right.
years later, in 1982, a college student rides a skateboard, not a care in the goddamn world. Too bad she's about to make a silent movie mistake and crash into a mirror. The movie does not make it clear, but we see this otherwise random-ass scene because it's what triggers the killings. Apparently the killer, a now adult Timmy, saw this accident happen in person, and it reminded him of that time he killed his mom. He then retrieves her bloody shoes and dress and gets back to that puzzle that bested him all those years ago. Maybe he can figure it out this time. Elsewhere on campus, a girl with her skirt way too high up on her butt is spied upon by a dude with a yellow chainsaw and his face covered. He takes that chainsaw and puts it right up against her neck, decapitating her in broad daylight.
Oh,
and leaving
broad
her headless
daylight?
Body with a nasty
Whoa.
stump. I do like the backlit shot of the killer here. It's cool. The case of the headless murdered girl is being investigated by Lieutenant Bracken, played by Christopher George, and his partner, Sergeant Holden. They meet with the very English Dean Fowler.
Go back.
Once-
Was that the girl that was skateboarding that did it? That got her head chopped off? Go back.
The movie does not make it clear, but we saw this accident happen in person, and it reminded
Yeah,
him
sir.
spawned by a dude
Wow.
with a yellow chainsaw and his face covered. He takes
That's
that
her,
chainsaw,
wow.
puts it right up against her neck, decapitating her in broad daylight and leaving her headless body with a nasty stump. I do like the backlit shot of the killer here. It's cool. The case of the headless murder girl is being investigated by
Broad
Lieutenant
daylight.
Bracken, played by Christopher George, and his partner, Sergeant Holden. They meet with the very English Dean Foley, who wants to keep this whole thing hush-hush, cheerio.
Our version here amongst the alumni and staff will be that it was
Yeah, hush,
an
hush, Cheerio.
unfortunate accident.
Yeah, sure. That student accidentally cut her own head off with a chainsaw. The cops meet with one of the victim's teachers, Arthur Brown, a professor of anatomy who gets teased by his students asking about their pectorals.
But where are they?
Here. Right here.
Girl, don't give him that shit. You know where your titties are. I heard you over there talking like a poorly dubbed slasher victim.
The most beautiful thing in the world is
Pulley.
smoking pot and fucking on a waterbed at the same time.
As far as the dubbing goes, I don't know the whole story. I think some actors weren't speaking English, or maybe spoke it with too heavy an accent, like Spanish actor Frank Brania.
Who knows at this stage? We're just out buying clothes without labels and trying them on for
Oh,
size.
okay.
But even the American actors clearly dubbed over their own dialogue, because that's definitely Christopher George's awesome voice interrogating Professor Brown.
So you say you didn't know her very well.
Kendall James is a college student who may look like a nerd at first, but don't be mistaken, this guy fucks. Check out the horny note he just got from his classmate Jenny.
I want to do it underwater. See you in the pool.
That's a good way to get a UTI, Jen, and a good way to get killed. Especially after Kendall's underhanded airball leaves the killer, who's comfortable walking around in public, with that horny victim's swimming pool intel. Jenny heads to the school pool and undresses herself in front of the biggest windows she could possibly find. The scene is a lengthy strip and swim sesh scored by a relentless saxophone. And it would have been even longer, but since they filmed pieces in Madrid during December, the water was 5 below zero and too cold for what Simone wanted.
Y el agua estaba absolutamente helada, pues casi se muere.
Yeah, maybe don't kill your cast, dude. Jenny's sexy swim arounds are stopped by a pool net over her head, and after the killer perfectly situates her into the porniest pose possible, he goes and gets his chainsaw. Hey, actually, on second thought, maybe it'd be more porny if you kind of arch your back. Oh yeah, you got it. Great work, Jen. The naked woman's killed with a chainsaw. And the
Damn.
mystery murderer takes her torso home as a keepsake. It's the perfect thing to match that severed head he's got. Now, at this college, there's a groundskeeper played by Bluto himself, Paul L. Smith. His name
Oh, I
is
thought that
Willie,
was Bluto,
which,
yeah.
yes, makes him groundskeeper Willie, but I guess he's also the school's pool guy, because he's the one who finds the murder weapon there, his very own groundskeeping chainsaw covered in blood. This is the only scene with blood that Paul L. Smith was willing to be in. He was reluctant to do a horror movie and only agreed to as a favor to Dick Randall, the American exploitation filmmaker who co-produced the film. Since Kendall was at the pool, hoping to go for a soak, he sees Willard with the weapon, which is gonna make the dude a suspect. Maybe if he just stays calm though, he can avoid any— Oh, nope, dude,
Nope.
you're fighting the cops. I never like it when you do that.
Hold it!
Damn, he was acting like Bluto.
Blow your brains out.
See?
Ow.
The
Blow
remaining
your
pieces
brains
of
out.
Jenny's body are photographed by director Juan Piquer Simon
My man was acting like Bluto for a minute.
in a cameo, then gingerly mishandled by an inept doctor. Professor Brown is then called in, and he also flubs protocol, getting his fingerprints all over the evidence. Come on, people, this is a crime scene. Just, you know what, get all those people chunks out of here, okay? Yeah, take the body part stretcher.
Hold up. Gotta do the copy.
Thank you. Kendall, who is kind of a witness, meets with Bracken, and the lieutenant takes a liking to the lascivious lad. The admiration is mutual, and Kendall agrees to talk to the police's psychological profiler to help them learn more about the killer.
But I don't know the killer. Or do I?
Or does he? Bracken also introduces Kendall to a fellow police officer, Mary Riggs, an ex-tennis player who's been desk jockeying since she joined the force and is eager for more excitement. That's why she's going undercover at the university as a tennis instructor. Awesome! A kick-ass lady doing kick-ass things.
Nice.
Watch out for Mary, in case she needs any
Needs any help?
Sure. Being watched over by a civilian college-aged boy. Cool. Mary Riggs is played by Linda Day, who by this point had been married to co-star Christopher George for 12 years. The two of them acted together in several films and TV appearances, including horror films Mortuary and Day of the Animals, alongside Leslie Nielsen. Unfortunately, Christopher George died of a heart attack a year after Pieces was released, at the age of 52. Linda retired from acting shortly thereafter. Riggs begins her undercover tennis mission, and apologies to anyone who actually plays the sport. It must be painful watching this, especially with a character who's supposedly a pro. When American actor Linda Day was cast, director Simone was told she knew how to play tennis based on an erroneous assumption.
Entonces me dijeron, en California todo el mundo sabe jugar al tenis.
That turned out not to be true, obviously, and despite some brief training for both of the actors here, it's clear they don't know what they're doing.
That young lady gave me quite a workout.
Yeah, must be pretty tough keeping up with, this. No judgment of the actors, they tried. Almost as hard as the killer keeps trying to get this puzzle figured out. Gotta admire his persistence. Come on, grown-up Timmy, you can do it. Just, yeah. There you go. Yeah, you got it. Time for another scene with a sexy lady getting gazed at while an upbeat porno-sounding song plays on the soundtrack. This victim to be is Mary, an aerobics dance student who may have been played by a former Miss Barcelona. Simone was unclear when he often and eagerly brought up that fact. It's possible his Miss Barcelona played Mary's dance instructor Carla, who was in an earlier scene with a lot of leotards that goes on for way too long. Though I kinda like the funky robot voice on the soundtrack. Running around, what are you doing here? Simone originally wanted all the women in this scene naked, but the dancing troupe he hired wasn't about to go along with that.
Yeah, my man was the perv. My man was the perv. He was the old perv, man.
Entonces ahí las chicas
Old Spanish
que
perv.
salieran con poca
Perverto.
ropa y entonces dijeron que eso no
Perverto.
era así, que los
That's what he
ensayos
was.
en el ballet se hacen con mallas y ahí, bueno, aceptamos eso. Esto nos quedamos cortos.
I'm not a big fan of how Simone talks about his female actors, whom he constantly refers to as girls.
Entonces no hubo manera de quitarles las mallas.
Esa tiene buenas piernas. Esa tiene buenas piernas.
Tiene unas piernas estupendas.
Even worse is this fuckhead in a lot of the behind the scenes with him. I don't know who he is, but he's gross.
Sabemos que el casting tiene fotos picantes, todas con las tetas al aire.
I like sleazy movies, I just don't like when they're made by sleazy people. Even though the killer is the neighborhood watch guy come to life, Mary doesn't notice his chainsaw when he joins her at the elevator. In fact, she recognizes him and isn't perturbed by his presence at all. But he perturbs her pretty quickly by cutting into her with a chainsaw. What? A chainsaw? What? A motherfucking chainsaw? What? He comes and gets her. Kendall and a couple of cops find Mary's body, or rather what's left of it, since the killer has taken her arms. Best break out the body part stretcher again. And full disclosure, yada yada yada, they do say she's still alive at first. But then this doctor tells Bracken she's not gonna live long.
Not a chance in a million, sorry.
So, you know, under the count she goes.
Damn.
With another dead body, Bracken officially recruits Kendall onto the case.
For God's sakes, keep a close watch on Mary for me.
Okay.
The case of protecting that adult woman cop, that is. In the meantime, he'll be looking for the killer, who definitely isn't one of these not suspicious at all folks. Kendall's new babysitting job is immediately called upon that night when he looks out his window, buck-ass naked, and sees Mary Riggs wandering around the campus's industrial section by herself. Better go help her, Flower Dick! Besides, that chick you were banging was just too loud.
What if you gagged me, huh? I wouldn't make any noise then.
God damn, Kendall! Maybe the
That was some badass dubbing. She must not be, she must not speak English. That dubbing was horrible.
sees Mary Riggs wandering around the campus's industrial section by herself. Better go help her, Flower Dick! Besides, that chick you were banging was just too loud.
What if you gagged me, huh? I wouldn't make any noise then.
God damn,
Okay,
Kendall.
what?
Maybe that Friday the 13th poster brings out the BDSM. For anyone who ever wonders about the awkwardness of shooting sex scenes, the story behind this one is a prime example of what can happen. After rehearsing the scene with the woman in bed, Kendall's actor Ian Serra was left a bit too physically excited.
Una bolsa de hielo y colocarle en semejante parte para que la cosa se calmara.
Kendall had better put
This
his
dude's a
equipment
pervert, man.
away and catch up with Mary soon. If he doesn't, she might get accosted by the school's kung fu professor. Well, too late. And that wasn't a shitty joke I was making. This guy's the kung fu professor.
Hey, it's my kung fu professor.
Wow.
What's the story, Chow?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck either.
Wow.
He says a whole bunch of stereotypical shit, then jogs his ass out of the movie, never to be seen again. Pieces, man. I guess karate specialist and Bruce Lee imitator Bruce Lee, Lee with one E,
Lee
was
Wai.
visiting the Pieces set, and since Simone was trying to pad this thing out to feature length, he grabbed a camera and added the kung fu professor.
Pues vamos a aprovechar y vamos a hacer una escena que después encajó muy bien, por cierto.
Yeah, does it though? After Kendall and Mary dirt bike away, we see a reporter named Sylvia Costa sneaking around campus. She was introduced earlier in a couple of scenes, but you know, it doesn't really matter. There are some halfway decent shots worth seeing in this otherwise slow and uninspired sequence, but it ends quite predictably with an attack from the killer. Sylvia winds up on a waterbed mentioned earlier in dialogue and is killed by a whole bunch of stabbings in slow motion. This scene feels the most egregious in its violence, even though the previous kills were plenty violent in their own right. I think it's the slow motion and splashing water that makes it different. More
How her shoe come off? That's my question. She must have kicked up when she was running.
brutal and uncomfortable than over-the-top Monty Python-esque blood sprays. That final stab, too. The killer keeps up his puzzling work, both with the naked lady one and with the naked lady one. Despite clearly being a naked woman with minimal makeup, this is supposed to be the Frankencorpse he's been building with his parts. Needing a lower half still, he turns to his next victim, Mary's tennis student, Susie, who finishes practice early when band music starts blaring from the speakers. This movie has a lot of annoying music that gets stuck in your head, but this fucking song plays for nearly 5 minutes non-stop. The same 16 bars or whatever, just bouncing along like Sousa's reanimated corpse. It is obnoxious. Anyway, you know the drill. Girl gets naked, girl gets stalked. Also while naked. In this one, she pees herself for extra humiliation, which may or may not have been real urine. The sources on this movie's production info were very contradictory. One thing for certain is that this very naked young woman was ironically the daughter of the film's costume and wardrobe head. Chainsaw Charlie does kind of a shining
Chainsaw Charlie.
kills the terrified topless woman, cutting her to pieces. Promised. Simone cited this scene as the most difficult one to shoot, and the gruesome kill was accomplished by actually cutting
I see why I like this one. Oh shit.
slaughterhouse pig carcass with a chainsaw. Mary and Kendall get to the tennis courts, where they're greeted by a suspicious groundskeeper.
I haven't said this one time in this whole film, but I'm gonna say it now. That's fucked up.
And some interminably annoying music.
Pluto!
That music's driving me crazy.
You and me both, sister. While Willard finally shuts the music off, Kendall finds the dead body and directs Mary to it, and the sight of the remaining half of her tennis student Susan is pretty
While we were out here fumbling with that music, the lousy bastard was in there killing her!
Shit, she's clipping. Bastard! Sorry, Linda, the sound guy says. Bastard! Whatever. Guess we'll just have bastard audio then. Bastard! That bastard killer's a sad one right now, because turns out Susie's feet don't fit inside his dead mom's shoes. Hope you checked the return policy on that lower half, brah. The latest kill has left Bracken infuriated. Find this killer, Holden. He doesn't care how tired you are.
Take some uppers or something. Just give me a lead.
For extra boy power, Bracken will send Kendall to help, even if that's against the book.
Yeah, what the hell with the book? The book says, get the killer.
Holden and the Boy Wonder look through faculty member files,
Boy Wonder.
hoping to find something that'll lead them to the killer. If only they were watching this movie, which is about to reveal the killer's identity right now. It happens in the most unceremonious way, when Mary Riggs visits Dean Foley at his home. In the kitchen, we watch as he drugs her coffee, and I guess that's how we know the Dean is the killer. There's not even a musical sting during that moment.
The Dean?
Just Mrs. Potts getting all pissed. Why would they reveal the killer that way? And when the cops learn his identity, it's just as much of a wet fart.
The Dean's the one. Apparently, his mother was chopped up when he was a kid. It must have affected his mind.
Listen, movie, I know the murder mystery wasn't really the point, but you should at least
That kind of low-key disappointed me on front. Kills was cool, but that was just disappointing, man. That just like, okay. It's good person to get you wouldn't expect though, but anybody but the Dean, that's kind of like, and then like you said, the way they revealed it, that was kind of ass. But whatever.
At least grab my attention when you make the big reveal.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I'm just sitting here wondering if Kendall's drinking from a Wendy's chili cup. Meaty. The Dean reveals to Mary that he's drugged her coffee and that it'll leave her physically paralyzed but able to hear and feel everything. That means that right now she feels the Dean caressing on her legs. The police arrive right as Dean Foley pulls out a knife, and before he can take its blinding blade to Mary's immobile body, they shoot their way inside. They find Mary paralyzed, and while Kendall helps her out of the room, Foley attacks him, causing Mary to hit the ground hard. Damn! During the scuffle, Bracken comes back in and Squat shoots Foley in the face, ridding us of this movie secret killer once and for all. With the murderer dead, everything's okay. You know, once Mary can move and talk again. But wait a minute, wasn't the Dean making a human jigsaw puzzle? Yeah, I thought so. There she is. The naked Frankencorpse does a real number on Kendall's psyche. The movie ends with the traumatized boy grabbing his jacket to leave this place of nightmares. Oh, no! Oh, God, no! We didn't need to see that! We didn't need to see that! How many? What the fuck? Why did that corpse grab him? What? God, poor Kendall.
Okay, now I'm gonna say it. That last part was just fucked up. Oh God, I'm gonna say it now. Definitely. What? What? What was that ending? Graphic, but what the fuck? Anyway, go ahead, James.
7 people died in pieces, because I'm assuming Kendall survived? Poor kid. All the victims were ladies, except the killer, Dean Foley, giving us a very rare, very red pie chart. With a runtime of 85 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 12.14 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to the reporter Sylvia Costa, which was also director Simone's favorite. Although I like the campiness of the other deaths, I'm rewarding this one for being legitimately disturbing, even if it's slightly undercut by seeing the cardboard knife bend as she's stabbed in the back of the head. The tinfoil knife tip out the mouth still looks great. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Dean Foley, of course, killed by a single shot to the head. And that's it.
It wasn't even good. It wasn't even a good headshot. It was like his head. Somebody hit him with a paintball on his head. Just straight a paintball on his head. That's what made it worse.
Out in 1982 and was confiscated in the UK as a video nasty. Still had a surprisingly decent box office run in the US though. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching.
Okay, so the kills was good. The kills was definitely good and awesome though, except for that gunshot at the end. Like that was terrible. Like you said, someone hit him with a paintball or something, or just like a blast of blood, and it wasn't a good headshot. Wasn't even a good headshot, but and around that time, they had good headshots at the time, around the 80s. But the story, the acting, some of the acting was a little questionable, and some of but the reveal was I'm like, okay, it's the Dean. Yeah. A shock, but like, yeah, okay. That the way they revealed it, they could have made it a little more, like I said, a little like, holy shit, it's the Dean. But they didn't even do that. But other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will see if I can try to make it a premiere, but it won't be that much because I'm not sure how many file my backup, so not worth it. But once my main page get back up, I will re-premiere it in like probably Friday afternoon because Friday morning, whatever, is when my page should be active again. Hopefully, I'm getting a lot of community strikes in the meantime. But anyway, it's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.